The Actor by Pablo Picasso. The Actor by Pablo Picasso is an oil painting created in 1905 to 06. With his creation of The Actor, Picasso began to move away from his fascination with poverty and disturbing subject matter in favor of a concentration in acrobatic and theatrical focuses. The figure is painted in a characteristically thin and accentuated manner, with long features stretched across the canvas, commonly seen in his blue period. However, this painting is in actuality the start of a series of work that led to Picasso's Rose period. Pablo Picasso was the first child born to his family in Spain, October 1881. His father worked as an artist and also a professor of the arts, allowing Picasso to train under him for a year before he went to the Academy of Arts, before moving to Paris to expand his art knowledge by experimenting with different styles and forms. During his initial visits to Paris, he began to experiment with Surrealism and Cubism, which he was the founder of. From this experimentalism, he created many unique and interesting works. Picasso became deeply depressed over the death of a close friend and painted scenes of poverty and isolation, utilizing a palette of blue and green which sparked his blue period. However, The Actor symbolizes the beginning of a new era. The Actor was painted in the wintertime of 1904 to 1905 and sparked his Rose period. The artist shifted from the depressing tones of the blue period to a more romantic palette. The Rose period also foreshadowed Picasso's later fascination of abstractation with his Cubist style. Pablo Picasso dominated 20th century European art and was essential in the development of the image of a modern artist, making his art culturally valuable across the globe. The Actor was once owned by the German Jewish collector Paul Lefman, who sold it in Italy in 1938 for $13,200 to Parisian art dealers Hugo Perls and Paul Rosenberg, allegedly far below market value, as he and his wife Alice sought to flee a fast Nazifying Italy, having already escaped Germany. The family sold the painting for no small reason, but because they knew that the sum they received from the sale provided them with their life. However, this painting has significant importance to the family, and they would not have sold it unless they absolutely had to. The fact that this painting was sold at below market value was not due to the Lefman ignorance, but because of their disparity to acquire the necessary amount of money to save their family from the doom of the Nazi regime. The painting was lost to the war, and it fell victim to the horror of Hitler's stampede and consequently left the home of a family who rightfully deserved to keep it. In 1935, Perls and Rosenbergs loaned the artwork to the New York Museum of Modern Art and had it insured for $18,000. 50% more than what they had purchased the masterpiece for in 1938 from the desperate Lefman family. In 1941, Thelma Chrysler Foy purchased the painting from the New York gallery M. Knoedler & Co. She paid $22,500, an astonishingly 70% more than what the Lefman family had originally sold it for. She then donated the painting to the Met in 1952. The Met inaccurately recorded the history of the painting, which they claimed was a fault of inaccurate information provided for them by Perls, as being owned by an anonymous German collector until 1938, which is untrue, as the Lefman family had owned the painting since 1912.
Currently, the Lefman family is fighting for the return of The Actor, which rightfully belongs to them, as it was sold in an act of necessity and became not a valid sale, but rather a loss of war. Laurel Zuckerman, the Lefmans' great-grandniece, is currently challenging the district court verdict, which found that the Nazis were not directly involved in the sale, and therefore the sale was not conducted under duress. However, even though the Nazis may not have been directly involved in the sale of The Actor, they were the reason the Lefman family had to sell their painting. They would not have sold this great work of art if it had not been for the reign of terror that forced the Lefman family to use the sale money to flee for their life. The Met argues that the Lefman family estate is asking the court to expand the law of duress, which would upset the rights of those who have bought art in good faith. The Met claims that they sympathize with the Lefman family, but they do not believe that the painting even belonged to them in the first place. In a direct quote from the Met, they stated, While the Met understands and sympathizes deeply with the losses that Paul and Alice Lefman endured during the Nazi era, it firmly believes that this painting was not among them. They also claimed that while the painting was sold below its current value, it was sold for a considerably fair amount, as its sale price was higher than that of others sold by collectors to dealers in the 1930s. Despite these statements, it is the continued and solid belief of the Lefman family that the painting is saturated in the tragedy that took place during the Holocaust, and because of this and the circumstances of which they were forced to sell the painting, the Lefman family continues to hold rightful ownership of the actor. The actor is significant as a work of art that encompasses the influence Picasso had on the 20th century art and his transition from the Blue period to the Rose period. This hauntingly beautiful piece is deeply touched by war and oppression, and holds a priceless story of history and Jewish culture. Not only is it significant in terms of Picasso's influence, but also as a symbol of great artwork lost to the Nazis' regime in World War II and the ongoing battle many pieces like it must face as a consequence of the war. In conclusion, the actor is highly valuable, not only to the Lefman family in terms of its monetary value, but as a reminder of their survival during the war, and should be returned to them as they lost it as a consequence of Nazi oppression. The actor rightfully belongs to the Lefman family, as they should have never been forced to sell it to save their lives in the first place.